so here we are for Calcio News. Now, there wasn't too many big stories going on as such, but we do have a few results to bring up, and also we have a few European fixtures we have to preview. So I'll briefly mention the Coppa Italia results from midweek. So Lazio did beat Juventus 2-1, but late Eric Milik goal was enough for Juve to make sure they win 3-2 on aggregate. And then Atalanta bet Fiorentina 4-1 in the second leg, and they won 4-2 on aggregate. So in that game, Milenkovic, the Serbian defender, got a red card, and Scamacca scored a lovely goal for Atalanta in that second leg. So our Coppa Italia final for this year will be Juventus versus Atalanta, and that match will be played on May 16 Australian time. Now, for the European fixtures, I'll quickly go over the Champions League. No Italian entrants, as we know, but Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund versus PSG are the Champions League semi-finals. Now, in the Europa League, we've got Marseille versus Atalanta and Roma Leverkusen. So we have two Italian entrants, and best case scenario, we could get an all-Italian final. So that's the thing there. And in the Conference League, we still have an Italian representative in that. So Fiorentina will play Club Brugge from Belgium, or depending which pronunciation you use. Club Brugge is more the French one. And then in the other semi-final, you've got Aston Villa versus Olympiacos. Now, just a few thoughts before we go. So with the Europa League, I personally think there's a good chance we could see an all-Italian final, and I don't think it's just bias. Marseille, Atalanta, I think Atalanta have shown that they're a good team in the Cups. They've had another impressive run in Europe, and if you can knock off a team like Liverpool in the quarterfinals, I think you deserve to be in the semis and go further. Marseille, despite the struggles in Ligue 1, have done well in Europe, but I expect Gianpiero Gasparini and his team to get a good result. And the performances in Europe, you could say, have been better than what they have been in Serie A. Gianluca Scamacca, the striker in particular, has probably played better in Europe than what he has in Serie A. And he scored some nice goals, not just in the Europa League, but as I mentioned just before, in the Coppa Italia, scored some nice goals. So even if he's not producing big numbers, he's definitely scoring decisive goals and scoring some nice ones too at that. Roma Leverkusen. Leverkusen have been the story of the season, especially from a German perspective, winning their first ever German title. And when they clinched the title, they had not lost a single game. So will Roma be the team to break Leverkusen hearts in Europe? I think it's possible, but Xabi Alonso has done an incredible job with what is a young team, and also with Granit Xhaka, the Swiss international and former Arsenal midfielder. He brings valuable experience to that team. So it might be a challenge for Daniele De Rossi and his boys, but I'm confident that Roma still have their own quality in the park. But it will be a fascinating tie. As for the Conference League, I think it's a good chance for Fiorentina to lay the ghosts of last season to rest. So on paper, you've got the makings of a Villa versus Fiorentina final, and Villa will pose a challenge, but I think the Viola have a good chance. And in this competition, Fiorentina have definitely shown that they can play their football. They've got more room to do so, whereas in Serie A, I think a lot of teams tend to stifle them. That being said, Olympiacos, a great team. It's their first ever semi-finals appearance after the best results in Europe being a Champions League quarterfinal in 98-99, where they were knocked out by Juventus. In the 92-93 Cup Winners' Cup, they also got knocked out in the quarterfinals. So for Olympiacos, there's a lot of history to be proud of already, a lot of history on the line, and they've never reached the European Cup final as such. Panathinaikos were the only great team to do that in 1971 when they reached the old European Cup final and lost to Ajax Amsterdam. So if Olympiacos can become the second one and spring a surprise by knocking out Villa, that would be an incredible story. And also to think it's 20 years since the national team won the Euros. So 20th anniversary of one Greek miracle, maybe another one's on the cards. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. So thank you so much to our viewers on Il Globo TV for watching this episode. And also thank you again to people who listened to us on Rete Italia online, and also to those who listen to us on Niche Radio, on digital radio. Thank you again for Puccinella Cafe for the support, most appreciated. And for everyone else here, spread the word. Let us know, let everyone know about the product. We're still growing, even though Il Globo has been an important part of the Italian community for nearly 65 years, been a great newspaper, but with Il Globo TV, we're bringing the Italian community into the future and still bringing that connection with the homeland as well. So, and football is one of those things, that makes us attached to our Italian roots, amongst other things, of course. But thanks again for the continued support, and ciao for now.